Now, let me start all over again. We want to use the demand and supply analysis to analyze the aggregate market. So the first step is to define the variable on the y-axis, on the x-axis. So the variable on the x-axis is the quantity of the good, that is the aggregate market. Now say if we have 3 apples and 2 oranges produced in the market, can we say that the quantity of the aggregate market is equal to 5 something? No, we cannot do that. Therefore, we need a measure of the quantity of aggregate market. So far, we have learned that the most popular measure of the quantity of the aggregate market is called real GDP. Okay? Now the next step is, what is the variable on the y-axis? In the aggregate market, the variable on the x-axis is quantity of that good. What is the variable on the y-axis? Of course, it's price of that good. Now again, if the price of apple is $1 each, price of orange is $3 each, can we say that the price of the aggregate market is equal to 4 something or 2 something? No, we cannot do that. Alright? Therefore, there is no price of the aggregate market. We call this the price level of the aggregate market. So the price of the aggregate market is called price level. Now we need a measure of the price level. Since we use real GDP to measure the quantity of the aggregate market, therefore, the most straightforward measure of the price level must be related to GDP. This is called the GDP deflator. This is a measure of the price level. And we will introduce another measure in chapter 5. But here, let's focus on the GDP deflator. Now, why is it called a deflator? Let me use the example that we talked before. Say for example, in 2005, this economy produces 1 apple, and the price of apple is $2 each. The nominal GDP, nominal production of this economy, is 1 apple multiplied by $2 each. So the nominal production in this economy is $2 of apple. That is nominal. Okay? Now in 2010, this economy doubles its production. So now they produce 2 apples. But at the same time, the price of apple increases to $3 each. Now the nominal GDP is the market value of these 2 apples. Since the price of apple is $3 each, therefore the total market value of these 2 apples is 2 times $3, so it's $6. Now remember how we calculate real GDP? We fix the price, right? We fix the price. That is, in 2010, the economy produces 2 apples. And let's assume that the price of apple doesn't change from 2005 to 2010. So what is the value of these 2 apples in 2005? These 2 apples multiplied by the price of apple in 2005, that is $4. So the real GDP in 2010 is $4. What is the real GDP in 2005? The answer is $2. Why? Because we fixed the price in 2005. That is, we use 2005 as the base year. And remember, in the base year, nominal GDP is equal to real GDP. Now, what is the real production? The real production is going from 1 apple to 2 apples. So real production should double. Now let's check real GDP. Real GDP in 2005 is $2. Real GDP in 2010 is $4. So it doubles. Therefore, real GDP is used to measure the real production from 1 apple to 2 apples. Now let's check the nominal GDP. Nominal GDP in 2005 is $2. And nominal GDP in 2010 is $6. So nominal GDP triples from 2005 to 2010. Why? We only produce 2 times as many apples as before. Why the nominal GDP triples? The answer is because the price of apple also increases from $2 to $3. Therefore, they blow up the real GDP to the nominal GDP. We can take a look at this picture. This is the real GDP balloon in 2005. Now, real production doubles. So this real GDP balloon should be twice as big as this real GDP balloon. However, the nominal GDP in 2010 is this big, $6. And the nominal GDP in 2005 is the same as the real GDP. So this part is caused by the increase in price of apple from $2 to $3. Therefore, the nominal GDP balloon is inflated. If we want to measure the real production of the economy, we have to take this air out. So we have to deflate the nominal GDP balloon to get real GDP. That is why this measure of price level is called GDP deflator. Therefore, we use the GDP deflator to deflate the nominal GDP to the real GDP. That is, we use the GDP deflator, a measure of the price level, to deflate the nominal GDP to get the real GDP. So this is the definition of real variable in macroeconomics. So real in macroeconomics has a special meaning. It is not actual. All right? It has a special definition. Real variable is equal to the nominal variable divided by the price level. Because we use the price level to deflate the nominal variable in order to get the real variable. Therefore, real GDP is equal to nominal GDP divided by the GDP deflator. Alright? So that's the definition of real variable in macroeconomics. So if you do the cross products, what you get is price level is equal to nominal variables divided by real variables. Let me do this. Real is equal to nominal divided by price level. So do the cross product. Price level is equal to nominal divided by real. Okay? So just like this. Real GDP is equal to real GDP divided by 1, right? Which is nominal GDP divided by GDP deflator. Do the cross product. Now GDP deflator is equal to nominal GDP divided by, go this way, real GDP. So GDP deflator is defined as nominal GDP divided by real GDP. And we usually multiply it by 100 to make it a 2-digit or 3-digit number. Okay? Now, look at the example. In 2005, the nominal GDP is $100. In 2010, the nominal GDP is $300. If we use 2005 as the base year, what is the real GDP in 2005? Answer? The answer is 100. Why? Because in the base year, nominal GDP is equal to real GDP. Therefore, what is the GDP deflator in 2005? Remember, GDP deflator is used to deflate the nominal GDP to get real GDP. So what is the question mark? Question mark is equal to 1, but remember, we want to multiply it by 100 to make it a 2-digit or 3-digit number. That's the way it is. It is defined as real, nominal divided by real multiplied by 100. Okay? So you can do it this way, or you can simply use the nominal GDP divided by real GDP multiplied by 100, which is 100 divided by 100 multiplied by 100. Therefore, it is 100. Okay? Now let's do one more practice. So what is the GDP deflator in 2010? The answer is 300 nominal GDP divided by real GDP multiplied by 100. Or GDP deflator is used to deflate the nominal GDP to get real GDP. Therefore, do the cross product, question mark, is 300 divided by 160. And don't forget to multiply by 100. The answer is 187. Therefore, in 2005, the GDP deflator, that is the price level, is equal to 100. In 2010, the GDP deflator, that is the price level, is 187. Now, I claim that in the base year, GDP deflator is always equal to 100. Why? The answer is, in the base year, nominal GDP is always equal to real GDP by definition of the base year. Therefore, this number must be equal to 1. Therefore, the GDP deflator must be equal to 100. So from here, you can see that GDP deflator is an index, right? Any index must have a base value. Say, for example, you are 6 feet and 2 inches tall. What does that mean? You have to define 1 inch is this long, and then you are 6 feet and 2 inches high. Tall, I mean. So you have to define the unit. Therefore, for any index, you have to define a base value. So the base value of the GDP deflator is defined as 100. And it is defined in the base year. Remember, any index is equal to 100 in the base year by definition. So in 2005, the price level, the overall price level is equal to 100. In 2010, the overall price level is equal to 187. So what does that mean? That means things are more expensive in 2010 compared to the price in 2005. How much more higher? This is what we want to learn about the inflation rates. So how do you calculate the inflation rate? The inflation rate is the percentage change in the price level. So what is the change? The change is going from 100 to 187. So the total change is 87. Change from what? Change from 100. So the percentage change is the total change, 87, change from 100. And we multiply by 100%. This is called percentage change. Therefore, the inflation rate from 2005 to 2010 is 87%. So it is similar to the concept that you put $100 into the bank. And the bank, 1 year later, the bank gives you 187 back. So how much did you earn from 2005 to 2010? The answer is $87 more. And how many percent? The answer is 87% more. More than what? more than 100. So it is the change divided by change from 100.